Hello, ladies and gentlemen, sunshine's bloody sweethearts, and welcome to another instalment. Chuffing Big Al's bloody quick shots. I'm very excited today, for obvious reasons, but there's 2 or 3 reasons why I'm very excited. Firstly, I've just finished the bloody 11th stretch. I know that sounds like I've been doing some chuffing time in Alcatraz, you know what I mean? I don't mean prison, but it almost felt like a bloody prison. 11 days straight, chuffing work, grafting. I'm sick and tired of putting on my flaming hobnail boots and my bloody ivies. I felt like I was bloody living there. Some people do it all the time. I don't know how they do it. They want the chuffing heads testing. Another thing, I've thought about this a few times to do with this same kind of basic bloody principle, bloody scenario. It was like the 7 days in a week. We've worked it out, so the 7 days in a week. Whose smart ass idea was it that we worked bloody 5 of them? And sometimes 6 of them. Whose idea was that? How does that, the mathematical equation, and you get them 2 days off, you're not really resting, are you? In your heart of hearts, you know the bloody score. You're not resting, you're doing your bloody shopping, you're cleaning, you're still cooking, you're still doing all your bloody chores and running around like a chuffing blue-ass bloody fly. So basically, if I ever found out where this bloody dude lives whose idea, he's probably been dead for 500 years, his chuffing ancestors, if I find out with great-great-great-great-grandchildren, I'm going to go down to his bloody house, I'm going to kick him in chuffing testicles, I'm going to scoop his eyeballs out with a wooden spoon, shove them up his chuffing nostrils, bang him outside a bloody tab so his eyeballs flick back into bloody sockets, and then I'm going to nick his chuffing last Rolo. The guy's a bloody maniac, or his great-great-great-great-grandfather was a chuffing maniac. You heard it here first on the Chuffing Big Al show. Another reason why I'm excited. Finally got this day off, and we're doing a head-to-head Clash of the bloody Titans. Well, a Titan that we've already previously looked at, and a chuffing young contender to the bloody throne. I'm very excited because I've heard good stuff about this other guy. We're doing Jack Daniel's Honey, which featured in chuffing episode 2, and he's going up against bloody Beeble Honey, which is a mixture of blended Scotch and I think Wiltshire bloody bee honey. So we've got that to look forward to in a little chuffing while. Thirdly, and most importantly of all, we've got this young chuffing gentleman here, special guest today. Now this is chuffing Maurice the Melon. And we've formulated a kind of bit of a friendship, you know what I mean? Probably behind like kind of Stu and Rob and a few other characters. One of my chuffing best mates, we see eye to eye. We get on like a chuffing house on fire. First met him, he were in Aldi. He were in Aldi and he was just like kind of laying about, mooching around, didn't seem to be doing much of anything. So I decided to chuffing bring him home with me. And we've hit it off ever bloody since. So he's going to help me do the bloody whiskey tasting. Right, so let's have a look now then at the bloody head-to-head. We've obviously got Ding Ding in the blue corner. Featured on episode bloody 2. Jack Daniel's chuffing honey. Now, I don't want to be telling you to like go back to episode 2 and check it out. You can if you want. But some people ain't watched that. Most 99% of whiskey drinkers are well aware of this. But for the 1% who's not aware of it, just a little bit of information. Jack Daniel's obviously is chuffing 7 seeds chuffing whiskey. Filtered through charcoals. And I will presume that this is a combination of their fabled legendary chuffing black label bloody number 7. And some kind of honey extrapolation that they mix into the blend. And it's been a big favourite of mine for chuffing years. I've been supping this for a long time. I put it in my Godfather sometimes with amaretto, with the Serrano, for the sweet Godfather. And it's already been involved in a chuffing furious, bloody blood-drenched fight with Samuel Joe's honey. That was episode 2. And just came out on top as the chuffing boy. So that's in the bloody blue corner. And then the red corner, we've got chuffing bloody Beeble. Look at him. I mean, this is a small bottle because it's quite expensive, this. I think this one cost me about, it's a 20, no, it's not 20 cl. Is it? Yeah, it's a 20 cl bottle. And this cost me about 16.99. I think it's about 30 or 40 quid for a bigger one. And they don't do 70 cl, I think they do 50. Look at that. You have to give it a shake, though, before you drink it because it starts to fall to the bottom. The honey sediment starts to settle. So if you don't shake it and you pour it, it's going to be a weakened version. So get a shake before you drink it. But I've wrote a few things down here to do with this chuffing little bad boy, the old bloody Beeble. Right, so just bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. It's the size of bloody sweethearts. It says it's a warming, mellow and floral chuffing drink Now, the floral element was going to come from the bees, it's going to come from the pollen. And that's what fascinates me about honey. I've got a little bit of a soft spot for it because it all tastes different depending on the particular bees and depending on what flowers they're going to, what bloody pollen they're bloody plundering, you know what I mean? Like a bunch of bloody pirates. It says it's a perfect balance of lingering sweetness, rich, deeper Maurice. It sounds like our chuffing Charlotte. She's rich, deeper Maurice, you know what I mean, baby? Our bees work closely with a family-run distillery in Perthshire. How they get a wage? I hope these bloody bees are not being like kind of bloody victimised and persecuted and being treated as like bloody slaves. I hope they're getting a decent chuffing pension for when they put their little chuffing furry feet up, they can chill out, you know what I mean? I'll be having a word with these bloody farmers, making sure they're looking after bees, seated and bloody rate, because they're doing a good job for you. It says the distillery handpick their barley and delicately combine it with yeast, catalysing the fermentation chuffing process. Our barrel-aged scotch is then blended using honey from our Wiltshire hives to form a smooth and rich spirit. Say rich spirit. You could borrow us a tenner, could you? You borrow us a tenner? Bloody hell. He may be rich, but he doesn't talk much. It says it with a perfect touch of natural sweetness. It's 30%. So slightly weaker than the Jack Daniel's honey, which is chuffing 35%. You know what I mean? But not a bad thing at all. It says best enjoyed over ice. Alternatively, mixed with ginger baker. Sorry, he's a drummer. Ginger ale for a refreshing bloody cocktail. And I think that's all I kind of wrote down on that. Now, before we go into the bloody whiskey, head-to-head chuffing boxing bout, let's have a chuffing quick word with mate bloody Maurice the Melon. Well, that's all right. How you doing then, Maurice? You all right, my old son? Just turn around a little bit, let's have a look here. There we go, there we go. Just a little bit of a chit-chat with our bloody Maurice. Okay, mate? Yeah? You're looking forward to the bloody Jack Daniel's honey versus the bloody Beeble? Yeah? I tell you what, you look good with that bloody cloth cap on. It suits you, that. It makes you look very... Don't you think? Looking at his face. Look at his face there, ladies and gentlemen. What we're dealing with here is a very intellectual chuffing melon. I take one look at that face, and the first impression I get is he knows. He knows something that we don't. He's a very, very joyful character, but I can see it in his eyes, because the eyes are the windows to the soul. I can see it. As soon as I look in his eyes, he's had a bit of a chuffing life. Things have happened to this guy. Harrowing things. I mean, but you don't have to discuss them here, because it's not that kind of bloody show. We're not airing all his like kind of psychological bloody deficits and stuff like this, but it's a pleasure to have you on the show, Maurice, and I hope you enjoyed it. Right, so we'll bloody crack on now. We'll get the old bloody cowboy chuffing tumblers out, and we'll go where we've been before. So we're going to start with the bloody... I can't even get lid off. Bloody hell. I'd say you'll tighten these, but I tighten them. Making it difficult for myself, so I can't get to my bloody bows. Been at work for bloody 11 days straight. I don't need the stress. Let's get poured in there. There we go. Just a little bloody dabble. There we go. I'm off our Tommy chuffing stilts later on. Ended up in chuffing duck pond last time. Right, so we've got that smell, that caramelised kind of smell that we've discussed previous. You can smell the honey. You couldn't really smell the honey on the Samuel Joe. The Samuel Joe just smelled sweet. But it's a delicious drink. But this was just a little bit better. Cheers. Good health. I just really like it. It's got a perfect balance, a perfect combination of a little things. Sweet without being too sweet, warm without being too warm. Great mouthfeel, great taste. I would describe that as it's almost like it's like a warm mug. You know, if you had like a bad day at work or a bad day shuffling in general, you know what I mean, and you wanted something to like. Sometimes, I'm not saying do this, I'm saying don't do this, but some people just drink whiskey when they're stressed out, just get chuffing piss. And forget the chuffing troubles, you know what I mean? It's a bit like a Band-Aid. Whereas this, you would drink this, it's like a hug. don't say get smashed off your head on it, but it really is. It's a friendly, beautiful, cheeky, well-balanced little chuffing number. So we like that one. You want a little sip? There he goes. Bloody not too much, Maurice. It's bloody only a first thing in bloody morning, mate. You've got a bloody Beeble coming up in a second. Take it steady. Take it steady. You like it? So he talks quiet. Right? He likes it. Yeah. He agrees with Big Al. That's why we get on. We see, me and bloody Maurice, we see eye to eye, don't we, sunshine? Eh? Just get. There you go. And don't take the Michael out of his black soap. He's having that pull later on. Next time you see Maurice, he might have one tooth missing. You know what I mean? Right, so we'll fire the rest of that down the chuffing hatch. Beautiful. We'll get the old chuffing tin cup glass. It's not full of tin cup whiskey, by the way, just full of water. Just to refresh the old bloody palate. Right, now I am excited. I'm excited. Change the glass. Don't put it in the glass that has had the JD honey in. Otherwise, we're not going to get a fair assessment, are we? So, give it a shake. I said shake, around and roll. I said shake, around and roll. He's not a dancer. Right, pull that out of here. Just a little bloody dabble. There we go. Look at that colour. Look at that colour. I'm excited. I've been looking at this for chuffing years. And I've just never bought it for some reason. Put it back on my chuffing AD. You don't want bloody flies at it. End up with a bunch of bloody piss flies bloody flying around in bloody circles, bouncing off at chuffing light fitters. You know what I mean? Right, so here we go. Look at that bloody colour. Hazy. Looks like bloody scrumpy. Wow. Honey. But not that kind of... Do you know when you get that archetypal supermarket clear honey, which has that very sweet kind of smell to it? You can tell it's honey, but it just smells like a sweet produce. This one, really... It's hard to describe, but it's that more like kind of really robust, mature kind of honey. Not like a Manuka, but you know what I mean? Way different to the JD. Right, I'm going to suck it before it settles too much, you know what I mean? Here we go. In fact, well, left nostril, right nostril, chin, left nipple, right nipple, belly button. Way! Black tooth, way! Here we go. Wow. That is a slap around the taste buds of matured, it's Wiltshire honey, it says. It doesn't taste quite exactly how I thought it would taste, because a lot of people were banging on about it being like too sweet. I don't think so. It's a journey. That is definitely, it's not quite the Jack Daniels, it does develop on the taste buds, but it is what it is, and it's not overcomplicated. It just does what it does ridiculously well, and it's very consistent. This particular one, it's a chuffing journey. I'm going to have another sip. I'm going to concentrate on it as best as I can with my chuffing amateur chuffing palate, and I'm going to get a bit more chuffing info, a bit more feedback for you. Cheers. It's interesting. It's interesting and it's nice. And it's nice almost in a way why you're not quite sure why it's nice, but it is nice. I think it's because it's got so much expression, but really not what I was thinking. I thought it was going to be slightly closer to the JD, but we're talking of a Scotch with Wiltshire honey versus a chuffing, not a bourbon, but a Tennessee chuffing sour mash whiskey with their honey liqueur. So why I thought it was going to be anywhere even chuffing there. Just not using my chuffing noodle. But that one, yeah. It starts out at first, don't seem to be a lot happening. It's just like you've poured liquid in. But then the viscosity, the mouth feels very good. And then it starts to creep in. Sweetness. And then a right wallop of that chuffing honey and floral. You can taste. You can taste what they've been chuffing, plucking and picking them bees. And it's pleasant. It rolls around side of your chuffing palate. It's your tongue. To the sides and to the bite a lot. And on the way down, the sweetness kind of dissipates a little bit and it goes into a bit of a mellow, subtle bitterness, but not a bad bitter. Me and Charlotte one time, we cooked some chuffing with red cabbage. And you're meant to like kind of blanch it or do something with it first to extract all this kind of bitterness. And we put it on his plate next to his chuffing bangers. One of the worst things I've ever eaten. I felt like my chuffing taste buds were being tortured. I thought my taste buds had been sent to bloody Guantanamo chuffing bay or something. Bloody horrible. That is nice. That is nice. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed the chuffing. Winner? No, I can't pick a winner. They're too different. They're both whiskies. They both got honey liqueurs in them. But one of them is the Tennessee with the honey liqueur. One of them is the Scotch with the Wiltshire honey, which is a far different kind of honey and a far different kind of whiskey. They're poles apart. They're so different as to be ridiculous. It's like comparing bloody Sonny Liston to Shuffy Dame Edna Everage, you know what I mean? It's not comparable. But both beautiful. Buy them. If you can afford it, buy 2 bottles. Get your chuffing money out, get that extra few shackles out, and buy the chuffing bigger Beeble. You know what I mean? Justin Chuffing Beeble. It's been singing on me chuffing taste buds. And I'd like to give a big thank you and a big round of applause to Chuffing Young Man here, because he's helped me out. It's been a bloody treat having him on the Chuffing Big Al bloody quick shot. Let's just sunshine the sweet sides.